full of whispers, alibis thin. Two sharp-eyed sleuths say, all right, who sinned? Has tipped low, clues fall in line. They read between the lines, right on time. Grim starts sweating when the squad rolls through. Every story tested, most don't stand up to prove. So grab your fedora, jump right in. True Crime Squad's on, and the trouble begins. Join the super squad, bonus laughs, deeper clues. Same sharp sleuths, just extra clues.
Hey everybody, welcome to the True Crime Squad. I'm Christy Brower, here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey Katie.
Hello.
How's it going?
Well, my heart is just exploding out of my chest for Little Punch the Monkey. Have you guys been following this saga? Oh my gosh.
A little. It's sad. I don't like watching sad stuff.
Well, it's happy now.
Is it?
Well, okay. So Punch the Monkey is a monkey that was born in a zoo in Japan. And his mother, I believe, rejected him immediately. And Punch has just been a lonely little dude. And the other monkeys have been mean as hell to him and wouldn't warm up to him, wouldn't be a friend to him. There's a video at one time of this monkey spinning him around and throwing him. Like, they've just been all total assholes to him.
Yeah.
So the zoo staff gave him a stuffed animal to love on because he needed it. And then all the other monkeys are like, hey, you think I'd like that toy? You know, kind of warming up to him. Well, Punch now has a BFF. And the BFF monkey is a monkey that actually was a rescue from a circus. And he has supposedly, hopefully, this is what they're saying, that he has taken Punch on. And they are very, very sweet together. So hopefully Punch's little heart is healed and that this is a real friend. Not some little
he better be.
fuckweasel just trying to steal his toy or something. Yeah.
After that shithead monkey if he's not a real friend.
Right. But this has been the saga of sadness I just almost couldn't handle. But anyway. So now Punch has his baby and a friend.
The thing that sucks is there's probably something wrong with Punch.
Right.
For his mama to have... Punch might not make it. That's all I'm going to say. I don't
you stop that right now. No.
Don't at me. But animals reject their babies for a reason.
I mean, maybe she's just a jerk.
Maybe she is. I don't know. I don't know her. But I will say that's very sad. But I'm glad Punch has a friend now.
Yeah, things seem to be looking up for Little Punch. So we're really hoping things stay that way. Yes.
Yes. Yes, I do have my BFF Sandy with me today.
Yes.
She was outside in the hall like she knew it was time to do something, which is weird because it's Thursday and normally our show is at 3:00. But as I said, I think her watch stopped a while back and she doesn't use it anymore.
She does what she wants when she wants, and that's how it is. Yep.
Yeah. I was trying to bring up some cool pictures of our concert for you, but well, let's talk about it for a minute. Tell everybody how our concert was and I'll get some pictures ready.
It was great. So it was in the Delta Center in Salt Lake City. That's where the Utah Jazz play. And it's a big arena, at least for our standards, you know. And oh my gosh, our seats turned out to be second from the top row.
Of the whole damn thing.
Had we understood the building better, we could have actually taken an escalator to the top and walked down 4 stairs and been in our seat. But we didn't know.
No.
So we climbed a small mountain.
We also got a lot of bad intel about it.
Oh my gosh. The ushers were so nice and so very wrong. But
I know. I really wonder if they'd ever been there before.
You know, we had horrible advice. But at any rate, we made it to the top. It was a very high hike. But the nice thing we discovered is that we were only 4 steps from the very top of the arena where you could walk around. There were some other seating there that no one was in. I took advantage of for a little bit. It was just, it was nice. I like to be at the top because I don't want to be that surrounded by people. And also you can see everything. And you could see everything.
Yeah, you could.
The opening band was a band called The Heart and the Head, or The Head and the Heart. The Head and the Heart.
The Head and the Heart.
They're like a Seattle grunge band. They were awesome. They were a lot of fun. And then, of course, Brandi Carlile was fantastic. My God.
So good.
She was so
This was
good.
our view, if this tells you anything about how high up in the air we were.
Hmm. We got there early because fighting crowds isn't something that is good for you when you don't walk very well. So neither is climbing that many stairs, but hell, we did it.
It was like hiking up Mount Fuji.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. But
Not that I've ever done that, but
yeah.
pretty
But
sure it'd be like that.
Yeah, it was great though. It was awesome.
She puts on such a good show.
Oh geez. She had that entire, and it was a full house once, things were up and running. But my God, she had that entire arena just eating out of the palm of her hand. She was so good.
So
She's
good.
one of those artists that talk quite a bit. And I know some people don't like that. I love that. I want to know why you wrote this song or why it's meaningful for you or what cool thing happened with someone else. She talked about she made an album with Elton John and she had been idolizing Elton John since she was 11 years old.
Yeah.
She said most of her childhood she went every Halloween as Elton John. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
hilarious.
she actually got to make an album with him. It was just cool. Yeah.
It was.
So,
It was
yes.
very cool.
We had that. There we are.
There we are on as I referred to it, God's front porch,
Yes.
because that is what it felt like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the heck of a hike, but it was
It
great.
really was, but it really ended up being good seats. Like you could see everything, you could hear so well, and
It
there
was
were
a
not.
great crowd too.
Yeah, it was. It was a really good crowd.
We had like last summer at the Cyndi Lauper concert. There were some women, a big group of women that sat right behind us, and this was like lawn seating. So I mean, they sat right behind us, and they chit-chatted and laughed and carried on the whole concert, just visiting with each other. Our sister Kara, who never does conflict ever, finally turned around and told them off. But much to my shock.
It didn't help though. So then
No.
I had to turn around and tell them off. And well, you guys know me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not shy. And
Mm-hmm.
I told them to shut the fuck up. I was so done. Cyndi Lauper is singing and talking, and she's so cool. And all I can hear is these idiots bitching in the background. I'm like, shut up.
It was very frustrating. Yeah. So anyway, at the Brandi Carlile concert, it was nothing like that. Everybody was engaged with her. It was so good. Yeah.
It was. It makes me want to go see her a million more times.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was super fun.
Yeah.
Well, we should probably get to court because a lot of stuff happened today.
Ooh, what a
I want to
day.
show you this though. We saw a little more response at old Kouri in court today.
Mm-hmm.
When Carmen, her housekeeper / drug dealer, got on the stand.
Mm-hmm.
I thought these were two facial expressions that happened right after each other as Carmen was telling her story. It was really rather interesting.
Yeah.
But let's get right into it because I have a lot of clips and we have a lot to talk about. A lot happened today. Because it was a full day of court, guys.
Yes. As opposed to yesterday.
Right. Yesterday, which was not a full day of court. And the reason it wasn't a full day of court is we don't know. Some emergency happened regarding the judge, we think. Then they were actually only in court for like an hour.
Yeah, it wasn't
of actual
much.
active testimony.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately for her, poor Chelsea Gibson, who is the crime scene investigator for Summit County, was on the stand today for, well, her third day because of all of that.
Yeah.
Defense attorney Nestor, she's the lead. She was cross-examining her for about 1 million times, for about 1 million hours, really, between all of this. It took forever. There were tons of questions. Here's the thing to understand. I think that some of the keys that are important here. This investigation started out as a death investigation. And now, if you remember anything about the Tammy Daybell murder trial, death investigations are to determine an unattended death, cause of an unattended death. It is not an investigation into a crime.
Not typically.
They didn't know for 5 weeks after Eric Richins died that this was a crime. And the reason they knew is because he had a massive dose of fentanyl in his body.
Yeah.
Way more than anybody, even someone who was like using fentanyl, would take intentionally. And so then they were like, oh crap, this is probably crime.
Yeah.
So that's when they get their actual first search warrant to go back to the house. So the initial search at the house was simply for Eric's prescription medications and to note any other prescriptions they saw in the house in case they turned up in the toxicology report. Well, now, 5 weeks later, that Miss Kouri has had access to this house, they go back to search.
Yeah.
And what they find is a bunch more drugs, guys. A bunch more drugs than they found the first time. Now, granted, they did not fully search the house the first time, and the defense has hammered away at that, but that's not why they were there that time, the police. It's important to understand the difference between a death investigation and a criminal investigation. So they go back and they find THC gummies everywhere. THC gummies. She said that about 10,000 times today.
Oh my God. They cannot get off of it. And I just don't understand, considering that he didn't even have THC in his system.
Yeah. It's just to try to prove that he was a drug addict, except for he didn't even have it in his system. And then there's some oxycodone or hydrocodone found in a couple of different places. It turns out there are 2 hydrocodone bottles.
Yeah.
And that was a little confusing because one of them was taken in by the police. The other one was taken in by the medical examiner. So I don't think that the prosecutor made it clear when they were questioning the medical examiner and then the crime scene tech that when they were talking about the hydrocodone bottle, they were talking about 2 different bottles.
Yeah.
One that was in the bathroom or the closet. Either the bathroom or closet, and then the other one that was on the nightstand.
Right.
That was something that the defense hit today that I think might be kind of damaging because I don't think that was made clear before. And then there were some found in a little baggie in a cupboard, like in the laundry room, in the mudroom type thing. I found that very interesting though because later in the day we hear from Carmen, who is the woman that got the drugs for Kouri, when she described getting those drugs in little baggies, didn't she? Sounded more like the things that Kouri was purchasing through Carmen. Little baggies. Carmen described them as the kind of baggie that you would get an extra button in when you buy a shirt, like that teeny.
I thought that was such an interesting way to describe the size of the baggie.
It was really smart though. I thought it was really smart because everybody knows what that looks like. So she was on for a while and they talked about, they searched this house 10 times.
Yeah.
There's some definite concerns about that. And some of the times that they went back to search the house, it was because the family's private investigator, was in the house searching and found something that they thought might be relevant to the police. So they reported it to the police. The police came, picked it up, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
Guys, that crime scene was hella contaminated at this point. It was contaminated from the first search warrant.
Yeah.
Kouri had 5 weeks to put whatever she wanted around the house, which turned out to be some drugs, I think. But yeah, I mean, it is weird that they just kept going back. And she kept saying, we would get a new piece of information, so we'd go back and look. Okay, does that seem like the kind of forensic forward, non-contaminated crime scene type of searching you would want the police to be doing?
Right.
Did they have to go back 10 times? Like they had to know, they had to go back every time because they didn't know to look for this or that? Like, it smacks of no training to me.
Yeah, totally.
That they wouldn't immediately have financial documents, anything to do with drugs, anything to do with the relationship between the people who lived in that house. Stuff like that, that should be just known I don't know. It is concerning. I mean, this was not a well managed investigation.
No, it was a mess.
They did their last search in this home about a month ago.
Yeah.
Also, that's a little shocking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the defense really nailed hard on the fact that they didn't do all of this stuff the first day they were there. And the crime scene tech is still like, look, we had very specific purposes of while we were there. They weren't looking for signs of a murder at that point. They didn't know how Eric Richins had died. Now, should they have handled it differently? And do I think a lot of police departments handle these things differently? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, Summit County is small. You know, there's only 43,000 people in Summit County. It's not a very big place.
Right.
And I don't know how many of these kinds of investigations this police department, sheriff's department has had to investigate, but it was not great.
Yeah.
Especially because the family had access to the house and they were going in and out, and their investigator was going in and out, and it can throw some doubt. Do I think it means Kouri didn't do it? No, I don't.
No.
I'm not getting that at all. But yeah, training
this
and
could have been
experience
done
are
a
two
lot
things.
better. Yeah.
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 Right. Definitely the family worked more on making a case than the police did. Agreed. The problem is they had access to that house. And that's rough. So finally, poor Miss Gibson gets off the stand. I'm sure she wanted to just run out of there screaming.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So then we get Dr. Brianna Peterson. She's a forensic toxicologist. So she did the toxicology for Eric Richins. And they talk about, that he had a lethal dose of fentanyl in his blood.
Mm-hmm.
He had fentanyl in his blood. He had fentanyl in his stomach. He had the fentanyl, the parts of fentanyl that break down were in his blood as well. Like,
yeah.
She figures that he had 14,000 milligrams of ethanol. Or no, I'm sorry. 900, scratch that. 900 milligrams of ethanol were found in his body, which isn't really very much. 14,000 milligrams is actually enough ethanol to be found in an alcoholic drink. So there's some questions about it. But one of the things you have to know with ethanol is that ethanol gets messed with and can actually be amplified by decomposition. Mm-hmm. Remember that Eric was cold and stiff when they found him. When like paramedics came to the house. So we don't know exactly how long. She couldn't explain why, if he drank an alcoholic drink, why he didn't have enough in there in his system. And, she was kind of like, it's, everybody's a little bit different. And so these things can't be exact, but he did have ethanol in his system.
Mm-hmm. But you have to think about a Moscow Mule, right? So a Moscow Mule
that much alcohol.
Doesn't have that much alcohol in it, right? Moscow Mules,
it's generally one shot, I think.
Well, right, because they're mostly ginger beer, and ginger beer is non-alcoholic.
Right.
And in fact, they found a bottle, the empty bottle from the ginger beer in the trash. So that's non-alcoholic. And if it had ice in it, and I don't know if it did, but that would have taken up more space. And then she might have just put a little bit of alcohol in it, or maybe she didn't put any alcohol in it. We don't actually know.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, because again, the story is Kouri's, know.
This is Kouri's
She's the
report.
one that said she made him a drink and took it up to the bedroom and he drank it. Yeah. So is it possible that it didn't have any alcohol in it? Sure. Is it possible that it only had a splash of alcohol in it? Sure. We don't know how she made it. I mean, it's not like it was a bottle of beer or something that you could know how much alcohol was in it. You couldn't. Yeah.
Right. The prosecutor did ask if you could tell whether the alcohol in his body came from a drink or decomposition, and she said no. Yes, ethanol is ethanol. So that was pretty interesting. The cross-examination of her was also interesting because the defense, yeah, exactly. Rosanna says the toxicologist was great about refusing to speculate, not playing the defense's leading. There was a ton of leading on the side, a part of the defense, and
Oh my gosh.
they wanted her to say that maybe he never drank any alcohol at all, and maybe it was just this or that. Or maybe he had so much fentanyl in the system because he was a long-term fentanyl user and that he had built up a tolerance to fentanyl. And she's like, there's no way for me to possibly know those things. I can't say that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Now, listen, you can build up a tolerance to fentanyl. When our
Oh,
dad died on hospice, he was on a fentanyl IV drip that was 12 times the maximum dose of fentanyl that you would get in a surgical procedure.
Yeah.
But that's because he had built up a narcotics tolerance over a very long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And any just standard person off the street would have been dead this quick with that much fentanyl in an IV.
The
But
nurses couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
In fact, right before he died, they had to, because it was in a pain pump, and
Yeah.
so in his port, and so the bag itself, it started out in like a little fanny pack thing that he had to keep
Yeah.
with him, right? And then it got bigger and bigger, and right before he died, they had to go to a different compounding pharmacy that could even tolerate or even do a dose this large. It was a
Yeah.
huge bag in a big backpack, and they told us if his dose goes up again, we don't have any idea where we're going to get that from because nobody can compound it
Make it
around
that
here.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, we might have to start ordering it from somewhere else. We don't really know. We're not sure what's going to happen if he needs more than this because we just literally can't get it. He didn't. He passed, but
Yeah.
it was an enormous amount of fentanyl. Yeah.
It was. Well, one time I was taking care of him. He rolled over in bed right after the nurse had been there to change the bag, rolled over in bed and popped the tubing out of the bottom of one of those gigantic bags, and it spilled all over his bedding.
Mm-hmm.
So I got him out of bed, and I called the nurse, and I'm like, holy shit, because he'd already been through narcotics withdrawals once because of hospice, and we were really worried about that. So getting them to come.
Yeah.
And then I started cleaning up, like the pillows had soaked it all up and the sheets. And so I'm cleaning up the bed barehanded, not really thinking about what I was doing. And then I realized that my palms were numb. And I was like, oh, holy shit. And I ran and I washed my hands, and then I put on gloves to do the rest of the cleanup. But I mean, I was absorbing it that quickly.
Oh, yeah.
It is a hell of a drug, and it is an extremely dangerous drug.
Yeah.
We would always have an extra bag at the house, and we all had to sign our lives away to promise that we would not steal that bag or do something with it or sell it or whatever. And these bags were like huge. It was insane. 12 times regular dose is, I think, still much less than Eric had. She at one point said she thinks it was 5 times the maximum dose. But they don't really know.
Yeah.
Because everybody's body metabolizes drugs differently. There are all different kinds of reasons
Factors,
why a drug would metabolize in different ways. The quetiapine was also interesting. So quetiapine is, that's the generic name for Seroquel. Seroquel is an antipsychotic med. It is also used in very low doses as a sleep medication because it is extremely sedating. He had a very small amount of quetiapine in his stomach. Yeah. It had not had time. This is how fast Eric died. It had not had time to metabolize into his blood. The fentanyl was in his blood. The quetiapine was only in his stomach. And she said there was about 11 milligrams of quetiapine in his stomach, which is the person that I know that's been on it for sleep was 50 milligrams. And then it could be broken in half. If that was too much, to 25.
Yeah.
So 11 milligrams of quetiapine isn't very much, but it's strange that it was in his stomach. in the
Right.
first place, because Kouri has a prescription for quetiapine.
Yeah. Not Eric. Yeah.
No, and we don't know. I wish we knew what the milligrams were for that. We don't.
Mm-hmm.
For what her prescription was. Yeah. Oh,
Right.
you're right, Ashley. I'm sorry. I'm mixing micrograms and milligrams. You're right. Eric had 15 milligrams of fentanyl in his system. It's dosed in micrograms, and a medical dose is 50 micrograms. Right,
Mm-hmm.
right. You're right. I forget the
Well,
the
don't
difference
feel bad. The
between
defense did it
micrograms and
over and
milligrams.
over and
Oh,
over.
the defense today was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do I remember the actual dose that our dad had?
I do not.
It was 12,000 something. I can't remember totally. I'm the one that figured it out, but can we zoom onto a still of the meds to find out the dose? I don't know. I don't think we saw a picture of the quetiapine, but I was curious about that. But I did wonder, she knows how sedating it is. If she was taking it,
Mm-hmm.
did she throw some in there just to make sure and knock him out?
Well, right,
Like,
or to
why?
hope that she'd get a bad, there'd be a reaction between the quetiapine and the
Right.
fentanyl. It's
Yeah.
hard to, who knows? But honestly, guys, because again, a lot of the story, all we know is what Kouri says, right? Kouri says
Right.
she gave him the drink and he drank it and got in bed. Kouri says she went downstairs and got in bed with the kids. Kouri says she came back up 4 hours later and he was cold and stiff. How possible do you think it is that he died before she ever even left that bedroom?
I think it's very possible.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, the pics of the meds that I saw were of the hydrocodone bottles.
They could be
So-
out there though. Yeah, there's been.
They could be. We'll have to look and see. Because knowing what I know, I could tell you the difference between a dose that's
Mhm.
for sleep and a dose that's not for sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, the defense tried real hard to trip up the toxicologist. It didn't work. It just didn't.
No.
They were not going to. They were just not going to deal with that at all. I found that very
No.
interesting that they just not doing it.
The toxicologist
Which was
did
really
an
good.
amazing job of coming back to the main point, making them reiterate their question, because does the defense not know how to ask questions in court?
They really don't. The
I
defense
honestly, I can't believe I'm
attorneys
saying
today
this.
made a lot of mistakes.
Oh God, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I really wish that the state would object more
I know.
to the way they're
I do too.
questioning and leading and testifying and asked and answered. And hell, I'm no attorney, but
Badgering,
I'm screaming it. You know?
right.
I'd probably get laughed
There
out of
was a lot
court,
of
but it was geez all day.
So then we get on the stand Sheriff's Detective Frank Root. Root collected an iPhone 7 from Robert Josh Grossman, Kouri's boyfriend. Basically, they just
You
brought
couldn't
him
even
on to
say
say, I know, boyfriend. Basically, the prosecution just brought him on to introduce the phone, I think.
Mhm.
But then the defense wanted to know if there were multiple phones at the same time. There were a couple of broken phones that they also took. Plus, he got a phone that was a working phone.
Mhm.
They talked a little bit about transporting the phones and how many there were, and I don't know. We didn't get very far with what any of that meant, other than I think we're just introducing evidence at this point.
Mhm.
That was a little tedious.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Then we got a lab tech on about Cheney Eng Tao. He uses Cellbrite. He's the guy that works with Cellbrite to pull data from phones.
Mhm.
He did downloads from 2 iPhones in connection with the case. Let's see. So basically, the prosecution just brought him on to be like, "Yep, here you go. We're going to bring these 2 in."
Mhm.
And basically the defense just was like, asked him if he did the download and how you did that. And,
Yeah.
We've all heard the Celebrate spiel many times.
Yeah.
And then we got Brian Holden from the Utah Bureau of Forensic Services. He's the guy who came to search because there was potential that there was fentanyl in case there was fentanyl in any of the items that were submitted to the lab. He was only looking for fentanyl because fentanyl is the drug that killed Eric Richins.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't find fentanyl on anything that he tested. Problem we have with that is we all know that the cup that had the mule in it didn't get tested. So he didn't find fentanyl, but they also did not find any evidence of fentanyl anywhere in the house, period.
Yeah.
Which seems strange given this idea from the defense that Eric's just a drug addict and he had a big problem with fentanyl. Seems odd.
Yeah.
That there wouldn't be fentanyl residue somewhere, or if they just flat out missed it, which entirely could be possible. Holden tested 19 items. You didn't find fentanyl anywhere.
No.
They had a sidebar during this time. There was a lot of sidebars and things got a little tense today. I have a video for you about that. They talk a little bit about how you would test an empty pill bottle, but they didn't test any pill bottles to see if they had any fentanyl in them, unfortunately. Again, it kind of came across that this was not fabulous.
Mm-hmm. And yet, according to Carmen Lober, all of the pills that she gave Kouri came in little bags.
Yes. All
so I'm not really sure why we are just screaming and crying about that pill bottle so often when that's
well, it's
not
because
at
they
all
can't
what
prove
Carmen
what
said
was or was not in it.
Yeah.
Right. Then there was, the jury was dismissed for lunch. Prosecutor Bloodworth brought up that he wanted to make a record that defense counsel is making hypotheticals with certain witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
And Bloodworth said that these witnesses are fact witnesses and a hypothetical has to involve admissible evidence. The judge pointed out that maybe he should object in the future if that comes up.
Yeah.
Duh. Okay. Then after lunch, we get Carmen Lober on the stand. Carmen was a house cleaner for like 9 years for Kouri and Eric. And Carmen is the person who obtained drugs for Kouri Richins.
Yeah.
So I have some summary clips that I'm going to share with you with her testimony because I think that's a lot better than explaining it. Both of these kind of give you a rough idea of what happened with her testimony. So we're going to start with the prosecution. And let's just kind of give you an idea of how that went.
Reminder. All right, Ms. Lauber, I'll give you the early warning. Just get close to the microphone.
Spoiler alert. She did not.
I know,
Oh my God.
you'll get used to it.
Okay.
Ms. Lauber, you are still under oath. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Mr. Bloodworth, please proceed. We have 2-44R queued up. Would you like to publish that to the jury?
Yes.
Okay. You hesitated. We don't have to do that. Did you want to go somewhere else first?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Ms. Lewis, any further record on this?
Nothing more for the record, no.
Understood. Let's publish 244 now. 244R, my apologies.
Ms. Lauber, you just testified that you had recognized a text exchange between you and Kouri Richins beginning on the 6th of March, continuing on to the 7th of March. Is this that text message exchange?
Yes, it is.
Now, Ms. Lauber, you had testified that Kouri Richins had asked you if you still had your hookup, is that right?
Yes.
And is that the text message?
This is actually after Eric is dead. She's still hitting up Carmen for drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Where Ms. Richins asked you if you still had your hookup?
Yes, it is.
And when you received that text message from Kouri Richins, what did you do?
I messaged back to her, text back.
And did you ultimately arrange to buy illicit drugs from Mr. Crozier the third time?
Yes.
After that, do you still have your hookup text exchange? Did you speak with Kouri Richins?
Yes, I did.
And what was that, about a drug buy? What was that conversation about?
That I could reach out to Robbie again.
And how did Kouri Richins respond?
Okay. Same routine.
Same routine.
Mm-hmm.
So, did Kouri Richins then provide you with money to buy drugs?
Yes.
How so?
In the house to Midway.
I'm sorry, I didn't
Wait.
hear you.
Sorry, what?
Did Kouri Richins give you money to buy drugs that last time from Mr. Crozier, right? I'm talking about the third drug buy from Mr. Crozier now, after Eric's dead.
Oh, no, she gave me she told me that the investor would leave money under her doormat at her house.
The investor would leave money under the doormat of her house for you to buy drugs.
Yes, in Camas. Her
Okay.
house in Camas.
So, did you go to her house and pick up that money?
Yes, I was with Nick. Nick drove me.
Okay, is this the same Nick Bonsavage
Yes,
that was in the car when you asked her whether the
yes,
pills caused Eric's death?
yes.
So Nick drove you from where?
Nick picked me up at my house in Heber, and then we headed to the backside of Jordanelle to the house in Camas.
Kouri Richins' house in Canada.
Yes, Corey and Eric's house in Camas.
Did you check under the mat at the front door for the money?
Yes, I went to the door, looked at the mat, there was nothing there. So I kind of looked at Nick and kind of shrugged my shoulders and ran around to the back door to see if there was anything under the mat there. There was nothing there, so I ran back to the front. And I kind of threw my hands in the air to Nick, like, what do I do? And I went up and rang the doorbell. It took Corey a minute to get to the door. She answered it. She told me to come inside. I told her the money wasn't there. I gave her a hug and asked how she was doing. And then I told her the money wasn't there. And then she asked if she could write me a check. So then she wrote a book about so big and wrote me a check.
Did she
Friends, this dumb bitch wrote Carmen a check for drugs.
Yeah. Though she did call it construction cleaning for the Midway house. But
Yeah, she did call it that.
Carmen says she didn't do any of those things for her.
She said, Carmen said, well, here's the deal. Carmen's account was in the red. So Kouri had to give her enough money to bring her account up so that she could cash this check to get $1,000 out
Mm-hmm.
to pay the drug dealer.
Yeah.
How dumb
Insane.
is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's completely insane. So yeah, I had to show you the check because I was like, here is the text also. This is the text exchange. So there was a big fight over this because the prosecution wanted to show some of the Cellbrite report with the texts.
Yeah.
So that Carmen could verify that, yes, this is a text exchange I have with Kouri. There was a huge fight over that because I guess they haven't brought on the right. I don't know. I thought that guy this morning was the guy that was there to verify the Cellbrite report, but I guess not.
No,
So
they
it hadn't
didn't
been
introduce it into evidence. Yeah.
Yeah, it hadn't been introduced into evidence. So there was a big fight over that. So they had to redact a bunch of stuff on it so they could just show her and say, hey, is this a text exchange that you and Kouri had? Which they did. You know, do you still have that hookup? Gee, I wonder what they were talking about.
Yeah.
And then this, just, are you kidding me? How dumb is that?
Mm-hmm. Incredibly.
did the check?
Yes.
Now, can we bring up 5-31 for the witness, please. Ms. Lauber, do you recognize those 3 pages?
Yes, I do.
Do they depict the front of the check, the back of the check, and a deposit slip for the check?
Yes.
Are they authentic depictions?
Yes.
Your Honor, the state moves 531 into evidence.
No objection.
States 5-31 is admitted. Publish.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay, let's zoom in on the check, please. Ms. Lauber, is that the check that Kouri Richins wrote you that morning?
Yes, it is.
In the memo section, do you see where it says construction, clean, midway?
Yes, I do.
Did Kouri Richins owe you any money for any cleaning?
No, she did not.
Did she owe you any money for any construction cleaning?
No, she did not.
Did she owe you any money related to midway?
No, she did not.
Did she owe you any money that would make construction, clean, midway memo make sense?
No, I never cleaned a house ever in my life for $1,300.
Okay, let's go to second page, please, Scott. Is that the back of the check?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Third place. Third page, please. Okay. Do you recognize that as a deposit slip where you deposited a portion of that check and took out cash for the other?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Please explain how this came about.
I had to go to the bank and cash the check. I was in the negative, so they had me deposit some to clear up my negative balance. And then they gave me the remaining balance of $1,000.
Okay, when did you go to the bank in relation to picking up the check?
The day of.
So you picked up the check,
Yeah, that morning,
did
yes.
you go straight to the bank?
Yes, I did.
And who drove you there?
Nick.
Do you see where the date says March 9th, 2022?
Yes, I do.
Is that the date that you picked up the check, went straight to the bank and deposited it?
Yes.
Now remember, Eric's dead at this point. He died on March 4th. So 5 days later, she's buying drugs from her again.
Yeah.
But who's the addict in this house?
Right.
Deposited 300 of it and took out 1,000 in cash? Does that
Yes,
sound
I
right?
did. Yes.
Okay, thanks, Scott. Once you deposited a portion of the check at the bank, cashed the remainder, what did you do next?
Nick and I drove down Provo Canyon, touching bases with Robbie. He said it was taking longer than he thought, so Nick and I went out to a couple of thrift stores.
Where did you go to thrift stores?
In Orem County.
You said you were texting with Robbie Crozier as you were driving again down through Provo Canyon and as you were in Orem
Same
County?
routine.
Same routine.
Yes.
Were you also texting with Kouri Richins?
Yes, I was.
Did, like before, you meet up with Robert Crozier at that same Maverick and Draper?
Same Maverick off 126, yes.
What happened when you met up with him?
Same routine, but a little bit different. We waited there for a minute. He left for 20 minutes, came back, and said he couldn't get his friend to answer the door if we wanted to follow him. So we followed him down the road to a couple of townhouses or duplexes. I didn't go to the door with him. We parked down the street where we could see what complex he walked into. And then we waited there about 20 minutes to a half hour. And I kept texting him like, hey, this is taking too long. It's too late. I don't like sitting out here. Just wrap it up. Let's go. And then he texts back. He's like, no, I got my friend. He was asleep. I finally woke him up.
Okay, had you already given Robert Crozier money before he went into the townhouse?
Yes,
How much?
the 1,000. Well, no, it was only 900 because Nick got 3. I put 3 in my my bank account, and Nick got 3, and then he got the remaining balance.
You know that math does not add up.
Sorry. Yeah, I put 3 in my account. Nick got 3, so Robbie got the remaining balance.
You got the rest.
Yes,
Can we call that 700?
yes.
Okay.
Here's where we see real credibility problems with Carmen.
Mm-hmm.
Carmen can't remember shit, okay? And she gets a lot of stuff wrong. And she has told many different versions of these stories.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that stays the same is that Kouri reaches out to her and wants drugs, that she gets drugs for Kouri, and that Kouri gives her money for drugs.
Mm-hmm.
The exact details do change.
Yeah.
But in none of the changing of details did I go, I don't think these ever happened. I don't think these drug deals ever happened. No, Carmen was in drug court at the time that this was happening and in recovery herself. And Kouri, being the heinous bitch that she is taking advantage of that fact.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's a subordinate relationship here because she has worked for Kouri for cleaning her house for 9 years. And she at one point said that she thought Kouri was her friend.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, Carmen made some very questionable choices here. But Kouri really took advantage of Carmen in ways that just make me pissed.
Well, she did, and then the state did.
Yeah. Right. So the state, here are things that you need to know. She got arrested for dealing. Then the police brought her in. And she knew that Eric Richins was dead, but she didn't know how he died. They brought her in and said, hey, Eric Richins died of a fentanyl overdose, and we've heard you've been, helping Kouri Richins get some drugs. And she's scared to death because she knows she's screwed. Also, she cried a lot talking about how bad that she felt about it because she realized that she provided the drugs that killed him.
Yeah.
Unknowingly. She didn't know what Kouri was going to do with them.
No.
But
in fact, she called Kouri and kind of to show her some sympathy and also confront her and said, please tell me the drugs I provided you didn't do this. And Kouri said, oh, no, he had a brain aneurysm.
So that's brain aneurysm. We also have fungal infection and COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Lori Vallow vibes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she starts working with the police. She says that she feels like she needs to take some responsibility. I don't know if that's true or not. She's in drug court. She's already in some big trouble. She's going to try to save herself the best that she can.
Oh, she's seriously failing drug court. She's got bad UAs right and left. Yeah.
Yeah, and is in big trouble. At one point, she was in trouble because she was late for group a couple times, and so, which probably meant like 6 or 8 times. And Kouri wrote her up some fake letters that said that she did community service.
Mm-hmm.
And she took them in, and they immediately knew that it was that they were fake.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she did a night in jail and a bunch of actual community service.
Mm-hmm.
But she kind of went to Kouri and said, hey, I've been spending all my time getting your drugs. Can you hook me up with some letters that say I've been doing community service?
Yeah.
Right. She had a lot of shame over saying that she had a learning disability. I think she also has a lot of shame about the fact that she provided the drugs that killed Eric. She wasn't wanting to kill anyone, but was doing very unwise things.
Yeah.
Will Carmen say what helps her? I think she will. But does that mean that these drug deals didn't happen? No. They have plenty of proof that they did.
Mm-hmm.
But Carmen gets hammered hard by the defense to a point that I think everyone was confused. I don't even think that the defense attorney knew what the hell she was saying. And we'll get to that in just a minute. Yes, there was all of this. Well, we'll get to it when we get to the defense.
Yes. Sorry, I had to count on my fingers. I'm like, yes.
When Robert Crozier came back out of the townhouse, did he have anything with him?
Yes, he did.
What did he have with him?
A clear little baggie with 15 to 20 pills in it.
Same kind of clear little baggie as before?
Yes.
Were the pills round,
Yes.
just like before?
Yes.
What was the color?
A little darker blue.
What did you do once you received the pills from Robert Crozier?
Left.
Where did you go?
Back up Provo Canyon with Nick.
So, where do I want to go here? Okay, let's take a little break from this to talk a little bit about the defense attorney getting pretty sassy with the judge. And this was over the argument about the Cellbrite stuff. Mm-hmm. But just watch this, because I don't think that this woman was having a good day.
Testimony as to what it is, and it's not authenticated. That can come in through a later witness. I agree. That witness probably should have been called first, but was not. You're right that now we're doing something different than we did on the prior report. And I don't think just extracting celebrate, the word celebrate, solves the problem. You ruled from the bench just a minute ago that this could be used as an impeachment document.
I did not. I said specifically, you cannot use it if it's not admissible because there's no foundation for it.
Well, then we discussed it further, and you said, go ahead and show it to her and ask her if she remembers it, and then the text.
That was not in the context of impeachment. That was in the context of the Mr. Bloodworth and his direct using it to refresh a recollection of a witness who may not specifically recall the content.
I misspoke. That's what I meant. To use it to refresh her recollection. And you ruled that that would be appropriate. Well, then Mr. Bloodworth attempted to change your ruling, which happens a lot, which is what
Don't do
gets
that.
me.
Please stay
Well, that's what
focused.
gets me frustrated.
Please stay focused.
I think your ruling was appropriate, that it can be used to refresh your recollection. We discussed this, you ruled, and I think your ruling should stand.
You understand that this will limit your use of this document in impeachment.
That's fine.
Okay.
That was the first like smackdown I think we've seen out of this judge. And it was
Pretty
a very kind
much, yeah.
smackdown because he is a kind guy. But yeah,
He also
we're
told her to
getting into
stay appropriate. Yeah.
yes. Well, and stay focused.
Yes.
There's a lot of whining on the
Yeah.
part of the defense. And we're not very far in and it's already getting old.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see. So initially, Carmen told the police that there were 3 drug deals. One with that Susan woman and then 2 others with Robbie.
Mm-hmm.
Now she says there were actually 4. 1 with Susan and 3 with Robbie.
Yeah.
Guys, Carmen started using drugs when she was 6 years old.
Yep.
She had
In 6th
hella.
grade or 6 years old? I thought she said 6th grade.
Oh, I thought the process, one of them said 6 years old.
Oh,
I don't
hell,
know.
I don't
She
know.
was
A
very
lot
young.
of things were said today. Yeah.
But the thing that we know about addiction is that addiction is a symptom of trauma. So
Mhm.
what we know is Carmen was a extremely traumatized child who started
Mhm.
using drugs to try to alleviate her symptoms of trauma.
Yeah.
And then using drugs is traumatic in itself. So people who have been through addiction are very traumatized by the addiction itself, plus the other stuff
Mhm.
that they've been through in life. That's just known about anybody that's
Yeah.
addicted to something. Carmen's memory is not great,
No.
and neither are her reading skills. And
Mhm.
these are things that really were used against her today, particularly because this defense attorney had big, like the huge D-ring binders. And there were 3 of them, I think. And they were all the transcripts of all of the times that Carmen had been interviewed by the police, which is like 8 or 10 times. It's like Carmen said she thought it was 12 to 15 hours or something worth
Oh, yeah,
of
it was a lot.
interview time. It was insane. And that's ridiculous on the part of the police. But she brings them up. You know how they love to do the real visual stuff. She
Mhm.
brings these giant stacks of binders up and hands them to Carmen. And then she's rattling off page numbers because if Carmen doesn't remember something that's in one of the binders, she's rattling off page numbers to try to get her to find it. Guys, Carmen had a really hard time reading what was on the page.
Mhm. She really struggled. Well, and the defense attorney called her out for having a learning disability at one point as
Mhm.
well. It was
Called her out,
it was
embarrassed her.
ugly. Yeah.
It was mean. It was unnecessary.
I kept thinking if there are members of the jury that love an addict or
Mhm.
love someone with a learning disability, they've got to be steaming right now as to the way
Because
she was being treated.
the thing is, Carmen was trying.
Mhm.
Carmen was trying. She also said, I don't remember. I will tell you that I bet Carmen's memory today is better than it was
Mhm.
back then.
Yeah, because she's
Because
been clean
she's
for 4
clean.
years. Yeah.
She's doing well. I would suspect that the things that she told us today are more likely true and accurate, not just true, but accurate,
Mhm.
than the things that, and she kept saying it was a really hard time. It was really hard to process. She's in jail. She's
Mhm.
going through withdrawals. She's now found out that she sold drugs to somebody who used it to kill their husband, someone that she knew who was a friend of hers.
Mm-hmm.
And now the police are like, hey, you're going to do like 5 to life for a couple different charges if you don't help us.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some stuff on the part of the police that's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the defense is blaming that on Carmen. I don't really think that it was Carmen's fault that the police handled this the way that they did.
Well, right.
And
Carmen's not the
basically-
one that said to Carmen that this
Yeah.
is your big get out of jail free card. That's what the cops
Right.
said to her.
Right. And if you tell us what we need to know, then you won't go to prison. I mean,
Mhm.
they said those things to her.
Well,
And
and you're the
she-
key to us putting Kouri Richins in prison for murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So there's a huge amount of pressure there. Plus a person that's pretty fragile, I think.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But nothing I saw today made me go, yeah, she didn't sell drugs to Kouri Richins. No, she did. She doesn't remember all of the details exactly as it happened, but she did.
Oh,
I
but
don't
that
have any doubt.
Cellbrite report is everything.
It is. It is, because there's all kinds of detail in there, and we'll get to that. But here is a summary clip of the defense's cross of Carmen.
You missed your group. Your treatment, so you were sanctioned then, right?
Yes.
February 11th, you tested positive for amphetamines. Tested
Yes.
positive on February 11th.
Okay, yeah,
And again, you denied it.
of course.
But that's the same day you said you were out buying drugs from Susan Kohler, right? February 11th, 2022.
Yeah, I just, yes,
Okay.
I was with Susan that day, yes.
That, by the way, seems to be Kouri doing a casting on Carmen.
Yes, yes. Kouri had more response on her face with Carmen than she's had with anyone.
Mhm. And she stared Carmen down. Yeah.
Who she did. Hmm.
You're using.
Yes. Once again, when you're going to relapse when you're around active people,
I
yes.
understand. And let's see. As we move into March of 22, you tested positive for methamphetamine February 11th, March 1st, and March 3rd, and March 16th, correct?
I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I was there. It's from drug court notes, yes.
So if it's, I'm sorry, I didn't
No,
mean to
you're
like
good.
poke you with that.
You're fine.
So, well, if it's in here, it's accurate.
Yes.
All right, so this whole time that you say you remember purchasing drugs, all these text messages, you were high.
I'm sorry, what was that? Sorry.
This whole period of time that you just testified, that you say you remember all these texts and you remember all this information from March of 2022, you were high that whole time, February, March 22.
Not the whole time, no.
You were using very regularly.
I guess, well, yes.
Okay. Now, this continues all through,
Ms. Lewis, may we pause for a minute? May we take the document down so the witness is not distracted?
we may.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry about that. All right. So this continues, the missing drug tests, the positive tests. Sometimes you do well, other times you're doing poorly. Continues all the way up until your arrest of April of 2023.
Sorry, what was the question again?
The question was, we started talking about,
I really loved that Carmen finally started making her ask a question.
Yeah, because she was just testifying.
Yeah. I also, for quite some time, wondered who was actually on trial today.
Yeah,
Because she treated Carmen like she was on trial today. But
she did.
Carmen finally kind of started going, what was the question? Sorry, what was the question? Rather than just agreeing or just kind of stumbling along with her. And that was good.
we were talking about that you were using all through February and March of 22. And now I'm saying from February and March of 22 until your arrest of April of 23, you numerous times either missed drug tests, mistreatment, were sanctioned, tested positive. You had a lot of missteps between the beginning of drug court in 2021 until your arrest in April 2023. Correct?
Yes.
In fact, you were held back on phases.
Yes.
You were asked to restart phases.
Yes.
But you started doing a little better right before your arrest in April of 23. You were finally moved to phase 5. True?
Yes.
All right. And then you're arrested. And you are arrested for, well, first of all, there was, all right, well, let me do this in 2 parts. You were arrested for possession of marijuana, correct?
Actually, no, I was arrested for driving on a revoked suspended license.
Okay, that's fair. You were originally pulled over and arrested for driving on a suspended license, and then there was an order to show cause issued in drug court,
Yes.
right? Now, an order to show cause is a little bit different than an official charge, right?
Yes.
So an order to show cause, can you pull that up, please, just for me and the witness? So an order to show cause, just so the jury can understand, is when you're in drug court or probation, on probation, and you're accused of committing a crime, they say, all right, these are the things you're accused of doing, and you need to come into drug court and explain what happened, and then we will make a decision as to whether you're going to remain in drug court, if you're going to be charged with these crimes officially, if you're going to get kicked out of drug court because you've got new charges. That's what an order to show cause is, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So you got an order to show cause, and it was for, I think that's in front of the screen. Does that look like what an order to show cause looks like?
Yes, it is.
And
Yes.
you recognize that as the order to show cause that was issued in May of 2020? Well, I'm looking at the date. You were ordered to April 26th, the day of your arrest, 2023.
Would you restate the question?
Right. Yeah. Bethy says this has absolutely nothing to do with why we're here. Exactly. But this is all about discrediting this witness.
Mm-hmm.
Here's all the stuff about how you're a big bad addict and a criminal, and because they're trying to discredit her. The thing is, she hangs on the whole time, and she doesn't get shitty, and she clearly is trying her best. It
But
just
also,
doesn't
the defense
come
makes
across
a
well.
crazy amount of mistakes.
Oh, they do.
Hell, she questioned her about the wrong year for quite a while until Carmen finally corrected her. She made a lot of mistakes herself. It was very weird to watch her hammering Carmen about her memory and her learning disabilities and whatnot, whilst making so many misstatements and mistakes herself, and having to go, "Oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke."
Yeah, over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the order to show cause that was issued in your case in April of 2023?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd move to admit and to publish Defense Exhibit 1008.
Sure, Your Honor, no objection.
Okay. Defendants 1008 is admitted, and we will publish it now.
All right. So that's just so the jury can see what that looks like. Now, if in drug court you're found to be in violation, you're found to have committed new crimes, what happens is your plea in abeyance goes away, and you are sentenced on your original 2 first-degree felonies and your third-degree felony that you pled to, right?
Sorry, what was the question?
Okay. Trying to explain so they all understand how this works. If you were to go into drug court and the drug court found that you had in fact committed new crimes and violated drug court, then you could go back. Your plea in abeyance would no longer be in effect, and a plea of guilty would enter,
Your
correct?
plea in advance would be revoked.
Revoked. So you would be guilty of those crimes, and you would go back to your sentencing judge and be sentenced on your original 2 first-degree felonies and 1 third-degree felony.
Yes.
And in addition to that, you could be charged with the marijuana that was found in your house the day of your arrest, correct?
I wasn't aware of marijuana, but I guess if you have the paperwork.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that. I think you've just forgotten. And there was a firearm found in your home.
Yes, that was my roommate's son's, yes.
And, well, possessing a firearm, whether it's yours or not,
Yes.
is a crime if you're a felon.
Yes.
A serious crime.
This is such bullshit. What does this have to do with Kouri Richins buying drugs from her? Nothing.
And why is the state? I guess they're just letting her hang. I don't understand why the state
I
doesn't
kind of
protect
think
her
the
better.
state might be just letting her show her ass here.
Maybe.
Because I would think that the jury also knows that this is just shaming this witness.
Also, the harder you work to discredit a witness, the more you put a light on how serious this witness's testimony really is.
Right. I mean, you're
How
giving
damaging
away
it
that
is.
this is the
Yeah.
testimony you're the most worried about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Christy, for the super chat. The super chat is on. We do always appreciate that if you can, because it does help us.
Crime.
Yes.
Potentially a federal crime.
Yes.
All right. So, we're going to get back to that, but I want to go now. So you're arrested on April 26th. You don't know yet about the firearm. You said you've forgotten about the marijuana, but you don't know about the firearm. You just know you were brought in on driving on a revoked license.
Yes.
The next day, Detective O'Driscoll and Detective Maynard show up to talk to you. April 27th, 2023.
I guess it was the next day, yeah.
All right. And at that time, you didn't know why they were there,
No, I had no idea.
but they told you, hey, we searched your place and we found a gun under your bed, correct?
Yes.
And they tell you your drug court is in jeopardy. You could be violated.
Yes.
And if you're violated, and you go back and be sentenced on your 2 first-degree felonies and your third-degree felony, you are looking at 2 5-to-life prison sentences and 1 0-to-5 prison sentence, potentially.
Yes.
And the court could choose to run those consecutive, which means you do 1 5-to-life, then you do a second 5-to-life, and then you do your 0-to-5. That's a possibility.
Yes.
So you were potentially looking at a long sentence if you were violated in drug court.
Yes.
But in that very first meeting, Detective O'Driscoll and Detective Maynard say, hey, we're not here to jam you up, though. We want to talk to you.
I don't recall the exact words, but yes, they were there to talk to me.
And if those weren't the exact words, it was words to, we don't want you to get in more trouble. We want to talk. Words to that effect.
Yes.
All right. And that's when they tell you that they think Kouri Richins poisoned her husband, Eric Richins, and they think that she killed him.
I don't think that was their exact words.
All right, well, I'm not necessarily using their exact words, but they give you that information.
Yes.
All right. And that he died of a fentanyl overdose.
Yes, they did inform me that he died of an overdose.
And that was the first time you'd heard that. True?
From the officer, yes.
Well, from anyone, that he died of an overdose.
No. One of Doreen's workers were driving down the road. It was Nancy. She had yelled out the window. She's like, Eric died of an overdose. And that's when I had made the phone call to Kouri asking if, please tell me those weren't for him.
Okay.
So anyway, there's a lot of that. She's not done.
No.
Unfortunately for Carmen, she still has to do more of this tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's brutal.
It is.
The one concerning thing, though, is that Carmen can't tell her that Kouri specifically asked for fentanyl or that she specifically bought fentanyl for her.
Right.
Uh,
One of the problems is that every time she bought drugs, they were a different color.
yeah.
And she didn't necessarily know what they were. She said that she was asking for opioid pain medication.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't actually know what she bought.
Mm-hmm.
And they go through a bunch of slang street terms for drugs that obviously the street terms that Carmen knows don't match the ones that the defense attorney knows.
Yeah.
And all that. It's very confusing.
Mm-hmm.
But here is a moment when the prosecutor was questioning her that we learned something very concerning.
There come a time when she asked you for the Michael Jackson stuff.
Yes.
Was that this time?
Yes.
What did you understand the Michael Jackson stuff to mean?
I actually wasn't sure. I had to Google it.
So what she's talking about is propofol. That's what Michael Jackson died of, was a propofol overdose, along with
Right.
some other drugs. But propofol is an anesthesia drug
Yeah.
that is given through IV. Why would you want that?
Yeah.
Why would you want the Michael Jackson drug, you know, the one that killed him?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want that?
Yeah.
Unless you were going to kill somebody with it.
Right.
Right?
It's a very weird thing to ask for. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was very strange.
And then you have to wonder, how would she administer that? Or did she not know that that's how that's administered?
I think she probably didn't know
Yeah.
that it's liquid. And also, I don't know that you can get it on the street. I don't know. Maybe you could, but
Mm-hmm.
yes, Carmen did say that the guy said he could only get fentanyl. And so she called Kouri and said, do you want fentanyl? And Kouri said yes.
Right. But then when she had her on the stand, she couldn't remember ever saying that. That
Yeah.
just got really messy. Yeah.
There are real questions about that. So
Mhm.
I don't know.
But it's true that any drug, I mean, street drugs were pretty much all being cut with fentanyl at that point. And so maybe she didn't know it was fentanyl, you know? Maybe she thought
She
it
may
was
not have.
some other opioid, but this is what she got.
Right. And they were different colors, which meant they were different things.
Because Kouri wanted
Probably.
the Michael Jackson drug.
Holy shit. You want propofol? I mean, stupid. Very.
Yeah.
So they ended here with the back and forth about her not remembering and looking up in the binders and all that stuff. She'll be on the stand in the morning and we'll see.
Mhm.
But then the judge got on the stand and told us a little story about something that happened in the courtroom earlier in the day that is pretty concerning.
Jury, the action we took. Any objection?
No objection. The note regarding the jury,
Oh, I understand, thank you.
not from the jury.
I got it.
I think this was written by a juror.
Oh, I had understood.
Yeah, this was passed out from a juror. So, during an afternoon recess, a juror passed a note to one of the bailiffs that read, quote, Judge, I'm having a little trouble with the handwriting, so bear with me here. Are there members of the audience in the courtroom that are sketching members of the jury, question mark? Is that allowed without consent? Question mark. It is distracting and a concern. Please advise. In response to this note, court staff confirmed that there was a member of the spectators that was in fact sketching jurors and identifying the sketches by juror number. That sketchbook was confiscated. The sketches of the jurors were removed from the sketchbook. That person has been removed as a spectator, will not be allowed back in. We cannot have anyone doing anything to identify the jurors in any way. And then the jurors were
Duh.
informed by a bailiff, not by me, that we responded in that way, so they do not have to speculate about whether that's continuing. Okay, Mr. Bloodworth, anything further on that?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Neff?
I mean, what the hell?
My God.
This is an anonymous jury.
Yeah.
Right? I thought that too, Jackie, that not only were they sketching them, but they were documenting juror numbers.
Juror numbers, yeah.
Who were they doing that for?
Right. Really
I
weird.
think it's a really good point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, for better or worse, Carmen's got a lot of dirt on Kouri.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the defense is very concerned about what she has to say.
Yeah.
It just didn't, it made me ill the way that she treated Carmen today. And I don't think that's going to fly with the jury. Like,
No.
she could have questioned her on all of these things in a way that wasn't shaming and putting her down and being a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lewis is not a nice person.
No, and
There's
by
no
the time
likability
she's-
out of Lewis at all.
not at all. And by the time she's done with Carmen, will the jury hold that against her for the rest of this trial?
Right.
Because I would.
Because it seems
I
like
would.
she's blaming the wrong person here. I mean, I
And
know
just
that it's her
being
job.
mean.
That's what she's doing. I get it. But it didn't have to be this nasty.
No, it did not.
So Carmen will be back tomorrow with
Yeah.
more, and then we'll see what comes from there. But that is
Mhm.
everything that we've got for today in the Kouri Richins trial.
Yeah, what a day.
Yeah, it was wild. So join us over on our True Crime Squad Trials channel if you want to watch the trial stream with us. We'll be streaming tomorrow as well. And then we'll be back here tomorrow night at 6 p.m. for the summary.
Yeah.
And we'll just be on our regular trial schedule, which is 6 p.m. every night, 5 days a week, until this trial is over.
Yeah.
And then we'll go back to our 6 and 3 schedule. But
Yeah.
for now, everything will be at 6.
Yep.
Let's see. Do I have anything else? I just want you to look at the space again. This is what Kouri, whoops. That's when Carmen was talking about the drug deals. This was
Mhm.
Kouri's face.
Yep. Yeah, Kouri's face was definitely doing the facing. Yep.
Yes. It was interesting because we've seen no reaction really out of her up until now.
Yeah, other than looking
Hey.
a little nervous, a little uncomfortable here and there, but today,
Yeah.
ooh. Yeah.
Cracks me up though, because it lets the jury know that Kouri knows that Carmen is an important witness.
Mm-hmm. And that this could be bad for her. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, that's what we've got for you tonight. We'll see you back at 8:30 Mountain on our Trials channel in the morning. Thank you so much for joining us and for following this trial. We've been following this case ever since she was arrested.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's about damn time it gets to trial. So,
Yeah. We've been talking about this case for 3 years.
yeah, we have. And we'll be talking about it a lot more.
Till you're sick of us and we're sick of
Till
this.
you are sick of us. It is true. Well, you know it. We are the True Crime Squad. Thanks for being here.
Take care.
Join the Super Squad, bonus laughs, deeper clues, same sharp sleuths, just extra clues.